Bloodborne 2, a Bloodborne remake, and Elden Ring DLC. What is FromSoftware currently working on, and will anything be announced before the year is over? What's up guys, you're here with JDog Supreme, and today we're going through the details we've heard about FromSoftware's current projects and what they're working on. First off, FromSoftware is hiring a lot of new staff. First reported by IGN Japan, links in description. FromSoftware has been hiring a lot of new staff across multiple departments for several new projects. FromSoftware looks like it's undergoing a big expansion, which makes sense. FromSoftware has become a big heavyweight in the gaming industry, and more staff means more resources, more projects at once, and hopefully a quicker turnaround. But what is FromSoftware currently working on? Something that is already confirmed and announced: Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. This is the only game they're working on that has officially been announced, but we haven't got much details apart from the DLC title. The Game Awards are right around the corner. It seems possible that Elden Ring DLC info will be given here, with even a release date sometime next year. Going off previous FromSoftware announcements, Armored Core 6 was revealed in 2022 at the Game Awards and then released the following year. Before that, FromSoftware has usually been present at the Game Awards in some shape or form, whether that's with trailers or sweeping the awards themselves. I think we will see Shadow of the Erdtree news. But after Shadow of the Erdtree, what else is there? A Bloodborne remake or Bloodborne 2? A Bloodborne remake does seem very likely within the next few years. One of the reasons is the Bloodborne 10-year anniversary is next year in March 2024. That would be a great time to coincide with its anniversary. But one thing is, I don't think a Bloodborne remake would be done by FromSoftware directly. It seems likely that this would be developed by the same developers who did the Demon's Souls remake, Blue Point Games. Adding to this, the Bloodborne IP is actually owned by Sony, as they were the original publisher for Bloodborne. And what developer has been acquired by Sony in the past few years? Blue Point Games. To add to this even more, after Blue Point Games released the Demon's Souls remake, there has been rumours that Blue Point Games are working on an original title, as well as a remake of a beloved game. This was reported by one Millie A, a data analyst who has a decent track record, previously getting correct dates for PlayStation State of Plays and teasing Insomniac's Wolverine before its official reveal. Pieces are all starting to fit together. Even though FromSoftware may not be working directly on the remake, it would make a lot of sense for a Bloodborne remake to be announced in conjunction with its 10-year anniversary, and what better time than the Game Awards. But a big question still remains: what about Bloodborne 2? FromSoftware are expanding. Not all the company will be working on Elden Ring DLC. They've just put out Armored Core 6, so they'll be done with that franchise for a while. That leaves a lot of room left for something like Bloodborne 2. The owners of the Bloodborne property, Sony, do not currently have much in the way of announced upcoming games. We have Final Fantasy Rebirth and Wolverine, to name a couple, but outside of this, nothing is officially announced, and it does feel like something is missing. Sony have been oddly quiet on the announcement front, and Bloodborne 2 would be a welcome addition to their roster. Bloodborne is one of the most beloved entries among fans, with people screaming for a remake or a sequel for ages. It'd be impossible for Sony to ignore. Bloodborne is also FromSoftware president Miyazaki's favourite title that he has worked on. As said in an interview with GameSpot Brazil in 2019, he was asked, quote, "Of all the games you've worked on, which one is your favourite?" In response, he said, quote, "But if I were to say which one stayed in my heart the most, it's Bloodborne. It's the one that marked me the most. I believe I did it my way, the way I wanted." When asked about changes that could have been done to Bloodborne, quote, "Maybe in a Bloodborne 2, Miyazaki replied with, quote, "Bloodborne 2, unfortunately, it's not up to me." It's been a while since that interview. FromSoftware had their hands full with Elden Ring and Armored Core 6. That's no longer the case. Reading between the lines in the interview, it seems like Miyazaki is waiting for that green light to come from Sony. With things appearing to be quieter than normal from FromSoftware and Sony, it does feel like something big like Bloodborne 2 may not be far away. It just makes sense. Going out on a limb here, but stick with me. Bloodborne remake early next year in 2024 to reinvest audiences for Bloodborne 2, and then Bloodborne 2 later that year or sometime in 2025. God, could you imagine? Between Bloodborne 2 and a remake seems much more likely at this stage. But honestly, with the Bloodborne 10-year anniversary in 2024, we are going to get something soon. and it's not a matter of if, but when. And with the Game Awards right around the corner, it's looking like a very good place to make the announcement. What do you think FromSoftware is working on? Do you think we'll get news about a Bloodborne remake or Bloodborne 2? Are you going to be watching the Game Awards? Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and consider subscribing for more FromSoftware news where we ask the important questions in video games. Thanks guys, you've been watching J-Dog Supreme.